Hello everyone. In the last part we discussed about the female reproductive system. So now today we will discuss about the next topic, that is the gametogenesis. Actually, gametogenesis is the process by which primary male and female sex organs produces the male and female gametes respectively. That means the formation of male gamete and the formation of female gamete is known as gametogenesis. As we know that the male gamete is known as sperm and female gamete is known as ovum. So the process of formation of sperm is known as spermatogenesis and the process of formation of ovum is known as oogenesis. So let us see spermatogenesis, the process by which the immature male germ cell, or you can say spermatogonia, these are the cells which gives rise to sperm, produces mature sperm cells in the testis. This process is known as spermatogenesis, whereas the process by which immature oogonia in the ovaries produce mature ovum, that process is known as oogenesis. So today we will discuss about our process, that is the spermatogenesis. The process of spermatogenesis begins at puberty and proceeds as follows. Let us see in this diagram. This is the spermatogonium, means many spermatogonium are present in the body of human male, or you can say in the mammals. So spermatogonium is 2n. 2n means diploid in nature. Many spermatogonium are present in the body. So what happens in the spermatogonium? Mitosis division takes place. Due to mitosis, many spermatogonium divides into many cells. Now the cell which is formed is known as primary spermatocyte. Primary spermatocyte is also diploid in nature. After that, what happens? Meiosis 1 takes place in primary spermatocyte. So you know that meiosis causes the reductional division. Meiosis is known as reductional division because it reduces the number of chromosomes. So until then, the spermatogonia and primary spermatocytes both are diploid in nature, but when meiosis takes place in the spermatogonium, two cells are formed that are known as secondary spermatocytes, and these are haploid in nature. And now these haploid cells, further meiosis 2 takes place and these two cells give rise to four cells. These are known as spermatid. So let us see the sequence, that first spermatogonium divides from primary spermatocyte, then secondary spermatocyte, after that spermatid, and the spermatids in spermatid some changes occur which results in the formation of sperm cells. So this is the process of spermatogenesis. Let us study it in detail. The spermatogonia multiply by mitosis to increases in number. Actually they are present in the inner wall of seminiferous tubules. Let us see in this diagram. This is the structure of seminiferous tubule, this one, and in this seminiferous tubule many spermatogonium are present. These are present on the upper side. So these spermatogonium increases their number by the process of mitosis. Each spermatogonium is diploid and each spermatogonium contain 46 chromosomes. Some spermatogonium called as primary spermatocytes periodically undergo meiosis to form two equal haploid cells as the secondary spermatocyte. So what happens here? The primary spermatocyte undergo meiosis and it leads to the formation of secondary spermatocytes, and they contain only 23 chromosomes because meiosis takes place here. Now the secondary spermatocyte produces the four equal haploid cells after they undergo second meiotic division. Means when second meiotic division takes place in secondary spermatocyte, then it leads to the formation of four haploid cells, and these cells are known as spermatids. These are only round oval shaped structures. These also contain only 23 chromosomes. Now the spermatids undergo spermiogenesis. Now what is this process? Spermiogenesis is the process, you can see in this diagram, that these are the spermatids. These are only round structure and these are the sperms. So the changes which takes place during the formation of sperm from the spermatids is known as spermiogenesis. So the spermatids undergo spermiogenesis to form spermatozoa, or you can say sperms. Now actually the sperm's head are embedded in the Sertoli cells. As I told you earlier that Sertoli cells provide nourishment to the developing sperms. So the head of sperms are embedded in the Sertoli cells. You can see in this diagram, these are the sperms and their heads are embedded here. So now they are finally released from the seminiferous tubule by the process of spermiation. These are two different processes, spermiation and that is the spermiogenesis. So in the spermiogenesis, the changes takes place in the spermatid, which results in the formation of spermatozoa, and spermiation is the process by which sperms are released from the seminiferous tubules. Actually, spermatogonia are the immature male cells that undergo meiotic division to form sperms. Each spermatogonium is diploid and contain 46 chromosomes. After that, primary spermatocytes are spermatogonia that undergo periodic meiosis to form two haploid cells called as secondary spermatocyte, and the primary spermatocyte also contain 46 chromosome. Then secondary spermatocytes are haploid in nature, which are arising from primary spermatocyte as a result of meiosis 1. So they contain only 23 chromosome. After that, spermatids, these are the haploid cells that arise from the secondary spermatocyte as a result of meiosis 2, and they contain 23 chromosome. And spermiogenesis is the process by which spermatids mature to form spermatozoa. So this is the process of spermatogenesis. Now spermiation is the process by which mature spermatozoa are released from the seminiferous tubules. Now we have to see the which hormones affect the process of spermatogenesis. Actually, the hormone gonadotrophin releasing hormone, we can also say that GnRH, it is a hormone released by the hypothalamus gland, and its level increases significantly at puberty. Means during the time of puberty, the secretion of gonadotrophin releasing hormone increases, and the increased level of GnRH, you can say gonadotrophin releasing hormone, stimulate the release of two hormones, that are follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone from anterior pituitary. You can say FSH and LH. These both hormones are responsible for the process of spermatogenesis, and these are released from the anterior pituitary. Means the message is given by the hypothalamus in the form of GnRH, and hypothalamus GnRH stimulate the pituitary to release FSH and LH. Now the follicle stimulating hormone acts on the Sertoli cells. The function of FSH, you can see here that FSH acts on Sertoli cells and stimulates the release of some factor that helps in the process of spermatogenesis. And now luteinizing hormone acts on the leading cells. Leading cells are the interstitial cells and stimulates the secretion of androgen, which in turn really stimulate the process of spermatogenesis. Androgen is actually the male sex hormone, testosterone, which stimulate the process of spermatogenesis. So now we will see the structure of sperm. Actually, the sperm is consist of head, neck, middle piece and tail. You can see here, this is the head, this one portion is the neck, this is the middle piece, and this complete is the tail. Four divisions are there. So plasma membrane covers the whole body of the sperm. Plasma membrane is a covering on the whole sperm. The head portion of sperm contains a haploid nucleus. You can see here, this is the nucleus. This is haploid in nature. It contains only 23 chromosomes. The interior portion of head contains an acrosome. Now what you can see here, this is the acrosome, this one, and the function of this acrosome is that it helps to penetrate the wall of ovum during the process of fertilization. For example, this is the ovum and sperm has to penetrate here. So acrosome, this portion release some enzymes which helps to penetrate into the ovum. Okay. So acrosome is a structure that fills with the digestive enzymes that helps in dissolving the membrane of egg cell and helps in the fertilization with the ovum. Next one is the middle piece. You can see here, this one is the middle piece, mitochondria. Actually, middle piece contain many mitochondria that produces energy for the movement of tail. It contains numerous mitochondria that produces energy. As you know that mitochondria is the powerhouse of cell. It helps to release energy. So this is important for the motility of sperm. Motility means movement, which is essential for fertilization. As you know that male gamete has to travel up to the female gamete. So mitochondria helps in the movement of sperm. During ejaculation 200 to 300 million sperms are released at a time, and at least 60% of them should have normal shape and size, and at least 40% should have vigorous motility for fertilization. Means the total number, if total number are 100, in 100 sperms are released, then out of them 60 sperms should have normal shape and 40 sperms should have vigorous motility for the fertilization. Otherwise fertilization will not takes place. Next word is the semen. Semen is a milky white organic fluid released by the penis during ejaculation. It consists of sperms and the fluid secreted by accessory ducts and the accessory gland such as epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicle, prostate gland and urethral gland. Means this is a semen is a whitish color fluid which contains the secretions of glands as well as the sperms. The testicular hormone like androgen maintains the function of the male accessory ducts and the glands. Means all these functions are controlled mainly by the testosterone. So this is the complete structure of sperm. In the next part we will discuss about the process of oogenesis. Thank you.